Welcome to a Skyrim Addict podcast, where I will discuss my adventures and misadventures through Skyrim. Join me. Add your stories. Add your tales. Let's get into this thing. And welcome back. Skyrim Addict podcast 114. Continuing some roundtable feedback and just general stuff. So, how have you guys been the past week? We have Marcus, Victor, and Colin again.
Just flew by.
Yeah, I was thinking like a blink of an eye, 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. It was pretty tough for me. I had a long week. I had a long trip from my couch over to the desk here. And,
taking your top off.
Ate a couple of cookies, it was pretty tough.
Sounds brutal.
Yeah, it was.
Did we get a chew-by-chew account?
Well, there was the chocolate chips, and then there was the apricot slices and stuff. It was good. Good cookies.
Sounds fruity.
Yeah. Not with apricots, they weren't.
So, right now, Victor's Let's Play is going on with your companions. I know a lot of those are obviously in the bank. Top secret there, breaking the fourth wall. But
one or two of them.
Are you still playing that character, or how's that going?
Yeah, I still have to finish it off. I mean, we have X number of episodes, quite a few, and I've got a few more to do. So yes, I'm still playing that character. He's actually one of my favorite characters that I've played in a long time. So I'm enjoying it.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it too. I think I'm up to episode 6 so far.
Yes,
that's the latest one.
Yep,
that's
the latest one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the nice long slow play of it. Sort of like bringing the character out a bit and then bringing him into the companions and showing why he joined and stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. I wanted to bring more story into this and sort of add some extra things. That's why I added Arissa in there. She's got a little quest, and I can't remember which episode we sort of do part of her own quest, and then
I think that was 6.
Was it 6? Okay,
I think it was 6. Yeah.
And then there's a bunch more stuff that goes on and stuff. So yeah, it's and well, I won't give anything away, but there's a lot about this ESF mod that's different from the regular companions. So, anyway, it was a lot of fun to do.
If I can make one suggestion, more dogs.
I was thinking about having lots of dogs, just to get back at Andrew, but
maybe a goat, maybe a couple goats.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking, a goat would be better.
Well, don't forget a wolf as well to howl in the background.
Yeah, and a wolf to howl. Yes,
or a fox to just breathe heavily. I think that would be the best thing. Yeah,
and eat a lot of mammoth cheese as you're walking around. Just constantly pick up mammoth cheese. Everywhere.
I forget, has in episode 6 has Malachi finished off the whistle quest yet, or is that still going on?
No, it's still going.
Yeah, that was another little tiny quest I wanted to throw in there because it's a fun little thing. So
yeah, yours has much less wildlife going on. I will say that.
Yes, it's not wildlife free, but
no.
It's got a lot of dying wildlife.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true.
That's a good point. But sometimes that happens in Skyrim. These things happen.
And a few, I don't know if 1 through 5 had, but there's a few sirens in the background. And
5. I think 5 had an ambulance.
Yeah, sorry about that. I could not go back and edit it, and I didn't want to replay it, so I just sort of laid it in there.
Cops of Skyrim all over
again. I definitely didn't begrudge you for that. I was still quite enjoying it, even with the sirens going on.
I've since moved from that apartment.
Anyway. He's dead now.
Yeah, I moved from that apartment. I'm in a new one, so there's fewer ambulances, but there still is the occasional siren because I'm about the same distance from another firehouse. So,
well, it kind of adds to the immersion, kind of.
Yeah, that's right.
Sort of. Yeah.
Somebody got in a fight at the Bannered Mare, and
they're just they sent the the local ambulance guild out there. And,
Yeah.
No, I must admit though, walking my dogs, hearing an ambulance kick off, and I was like, hang on a minute. Take one of my earbuds out.
Yeah.
Turn my head around a little bit. No, that's definitely on my podcast.
Oh, I hate that when you're doing when there's something in your ears and you're like, what was that?
Yep.
Radio commercials used to do. I always hated radio commercials with like sirens in them or screeching tires or something like that. That's never fun.
Yeah.
There was a Dokken song that had when I was a kid, I used to play it in the car, and my parents would freak out because it had screeching tires in it. And when they were driving, like, just shut that damn thing off.
Dokken. Wow.
Yeah, it was a while ago. This was obviously mid '80s when Dokken was relevant, which was just a few short years ago before Skyrim.
Sorry, I just muted myself by mistake.
Oh, also Let's Plays. We have Pat is doing a New Vegas Let's Play still, I believe. He has a lot of them in the bank. So yeah, he's still doing a Let's Play. If you check out the Fallout feed, he's doing the New Vegas one.
Yeah, he's doing a whole playthrough.
He's doing the full playthrough of the game, right?
Yeah.
Of the main part of the game. Well, he's doing other stuff too, right?
DLC as well, right?
Yeah.
I think he's going to do all the DLC.
He just mentioned he's doing the DLC as well, yeah.
And then Dennis is working on some Fallout 3 stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for that.
And Andrew is writing music all month, I believe.
That's right.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what he calls it.
Ooh, burn. Do you reckon he's going to be having some dogs in the background on his music as well?
Oh, he's got to have a dog song with just with random ambient dog barking noises.
Yeah.
Some kind of like cowboy song. Campfire cowboy song.
Do you reckon he's going to call it dog shit? Like DAWG. Dog shit.
Oh, man. Well, his Bard band got a name.
Oh, yes.
I assume
no one chose my name.
Yeah, mine either. I thought mine was good.
Either.
Yeah.
Never mind.
See, I even gave I gave the first album name and 3 songs.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah. And no one there. I heard a little bit of a laughter about it and nothing else.
Yeah, I got
obviously it wasn't good enough.
I didn't even get a reply. So
wow.
I guess theoretically I could have replied to myself through the email account, but that wouldn't have been as fun.
So what was your band name?
Riverwood Nightmare Band. If you've ever seen Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, the evil band, which was actually the good band in that, was the River Bottom Nightmare Band. It was I think it was mid-70s Henson Christmas special on HBO. It's a bunch of otters and stuff who, obviously Emmett Otter, who form a jug band and win some money to save their house. And the rock band, of course, is the evil band, and they are the River Bottom Nightmare Band.
Nice.
So I thought Riverwood would work, but nope, wasn't us. I don't know if they've announced that as of. I know they announced it on YouTube, but
no, it was on the Facebook page.
Was it? Oh, okay, so Dovabon
was
the winner.
last episode. Yeah.
Right.
What was yours, Victor?
Vampire Dearies.
Oh,
I don't remember hearing that one. Mine was Tinkering with Chromatic Scale? But I sent in 2, and they said that wasn't viable. I said Tinkering with Chromatic Scale, and that he's thinking of changing it to Dragons Ate My Friend 2, featuring Doc Serrana. Doc standing for Daughter of Cold Harbor. But,
I like that.
No, I didn't. Well, I didn't listen to the episode, so maybe they never got my email or something. I don't know, or maybe they just thought it was so crappy they didn't even want to mention it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll just go with because we're part of it. They wanted to go from the outside, so
that's pretty much all of us would have won.
Yeah,
but because we're on the shows, they had to show impartiality and
see mine. Sorry,
what was yours actually?
Alduin Eat World.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know
Yeah.
who did the narrowing it down to 4, but maybe they just have no musical taste. I mean,
I think that was.
Yeah.
But I think that that's probably definitely correct because I think Andrew was heading that up as well. So blatantly, no music taste whatsoever.
No, him. I'm pretty sure it's all. I'm sure Cara and Pat were all fine. It was the other two who were the two. So it's their fault.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, because they've recorded possibly some episodes ahead, it sounds like Kara's been sick for about a month and a half. So I hope she is alive and well at this point, because she's going to be healthy for about 3 weeks by the time everything's released. So hopefully she's doing better.
In the meantime, she's probably gotten over 5 different colds, and she's gone on to the next one.
Yeah, moved on to the next. Yeah, this time of year. Yeah,
coming down off of a NyQuil addiction as well.
Yeah, I would have expected some kind of. No, you know what? Jeremy's choice got in there, so it has nothing to do with being part of the show. I just remembered that because he had the one about that was the reference to the mutation for cystic fibrosis. Which
You know what it is? It's because we keep on taking a piss out of him with the muffle boots thing, isn't it?
That's true. And Jar Jar, the whole Jar Jar thing probably doesn't help. Yeah. You probably shouldn't like Jar Jar. That would probably help.
Finally, the truth comes out.
It's his complex because of the ridicule from Jar Jar and Muffle.
Yeah.
Muffle boots.
All we need to do now is...
To be fair, he does deserve it.
Yeah. So, do you know what I'm thinking of doing is getting a pair of sort of like used boots that look really, really worn and then just writing muffle in black pen on the bottom and sending them to him.
Oh, that's excellent. I feel like everybody else comes across the muffle boots except for him. So I'm not sure they're that rare. I don't think I've ever really used them though, because with the muffle spell, I don't know if they're really all that necessary.
Actually, you know what it is? On every single one of his playthroughs, the muffle boots are left on a set of shelves, and one of his followers, his many, many followers, knocks it off. But because they're so silent, they hit the floor, and he never sees them.
Yeah, he fell down behind the bucket there. Yeah,
yeah.
Plus, doesn't he always play two-handed with heavy armor?
Pretty much.
What are you doing with the muffle?
Now he's in light armor and using smithing and.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And the loot.
Oh, and the loot. That's true.
And apparently this time it's the first time he's ever been male.
That's true. That is true. Yes. This is his first male character, I believe, in Skyrim and Fallout, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Which is probably why Colin laughed so hard when it got pulled out as male.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Because he deserved that too.
Maybe I'm going to write into my sheets that every time when Andrew logs in from his IP address, it just always
automatically
a male character.
Excellent.
Always a male character. Why isn't this working?
A male Argonian or something. Yeah.
He's going to email me, Marcus, it's broken. I'll be like, no, it's definitely not.
It's definitely working correct. Oh, man. So we will have... actually, by the time you hear this, the roundtable will be done. But if you would like to send feedback for the... what is that, the third set of quests or something like that? You can... it's the...
next set of quests.
That is... Is that the third set? Is that the third episode or third recording session? Fourth? Okay.
I believe so.
Yeah,
So the next one is Alduin's Wall, The Throat of the World, Elder Knowledge, and Discerning the Transmundane is in there, but it's a Daedric quest, but it wraps itself around the Elder Knowledge quest.
Yes, you have to get the scroll that way. So if you want to send in feedback for those for the next feedback session, probably sometime end of February. You can do that either to Skyrim Roundtable at gmail.com or SkyrimAddict.podcast at gmail.com. Either or, doesn't matter. They both they communicate. So
yes, indeed.
So they'll know. So, but yeah, or for anything else, obviously.
Just not to you.
Yes, yeah, no, they just don't tell me anything. But yeah, so if you want to send anything for that, that'll be coming up by the time this is released in, say, a couple weeks. Just guessing off the top of my head at this point, because I assume this will be released the weekend of the 4th, 5th. So
Super Bowl weekend.
Oh, that is, isn't it? That's correct.
Yep.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Kind of stopped watching.
Yeah, well, the Patriots are going to win anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah. My wife still watches a lot. We have a weird household. She plays fantasy football and watches it all the time. And although we do watch a lot of NBA together, so that always cuts into my Skyrim time. But anybody else got any random Skyrim or Elder Scrolls thoughts for this week in podcasting? I'm trying to think. I haven't played a lot since last episode.
Yeah. No, now that I'm over on my PC, I'm just looking at I've been playing a lot. Well, no, I won't bore everybody with Mod Talk, so we'll do that on Mod Talk.
Yes. There's still Mod Talk, which
yeah, Kyle's been really busy with his job, etc., and then there were the holidays in between and everything else. So we were talking earlier this week, and we're going to record an episode soon. So
awesome. So
I better make sure that I get my submission in for my mod that I used, which was the canine armor.
Ah, cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so if you have anybody has mod questions or modding related questions, asapodcasting@gmail.com.
Correct.
And that's where you'll get a more expert answer, because I know nothing. So it would be much better to email ASAModTalk, because you will get actual answers.
Where we pretend to be experts.
But you're more of an expert than me. That I can guarantee. My answer will be, you know what? Let's wait till Victor's on, and we'll ask him and see what the answer is.
Yeah, I think that's one of the pre sort of things on my predictive text is we'll wait till Victor or ask Victor that one. So I think I just have to put in mod Victor, and then it just comes up with this whole
automatically
paragraph.
pops up. It's true, but it's the way to do it. Yeah, because I could answer, but it would make no sense, so it wouldn't matter anyway. It'd be like asking Andrew about any Fallout game before Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Andrew then just sends me a message and asks me.
Yeah, put the baby down, Marcus, and get on get on the microphone and tell us about Fallout.
Pretty much. Did we get anywhere from that guy that was having an issue with mods on his Skyrim playthrough in the end? Did we get a list of any of his mods that he was using?
No, nobody sent anything.
See, and I was looking forward to testing it all out, and I set up
that's right.
Set up a specific save for it and everything ready to go.
Yeah.
That's right. We
had
had
a couple emails, but they were related to the current challenge for immersive wenches. Actually, a very fun one, in fact. So,
have you played around with the? This is just a Xbox mod, but have you played around with the one that shows all the markers?
Like Atlas map markers?
Yeah.
Not on Xbox, but I've played with it on PC.
Does it work pretty well?
Yeah, I got rid of it pretty quick though. I just found it just too much, sort of
too much clutter,
chiclet candy. It's lots and lots of stuff, and too many colors, and too many shapes and sizes and things to remember what the heck it is and all that. So,
yeah. I just wanted one that showed all the locations, even if they weren't opened up yet. I mean, because it's not like any of them are a surprise to me at this point. I just kind of want to make sure I'm not missing stuff,
right?
That I kind of know is there, but just haven't been to in a while or whatever. But
yeah, I think it would be good if you could turn them. I guess you can. There's an MCM in the PC version. I don't know how the Xbox version works. Maybe do you go into like the powers menu or something?
Yeah,
like that?
Most of them are through the powers menu.
Yeah. So I guess you can just turn them on and off at will, but that just seems like too much trouble to me. I just sort of thought this is really nice, but I just don't have the will to play with it a whole lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might try them out.
Yeah, it doesn't cause any problems with the game at all. So
yeah, because it's just map markers basically, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying not to mess with anything too much since I've had this character for so long at this point. I just want to get through the Roundtable with it.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I was updating her mods pretty regularly, and then I thought, don't.
Yes.
I pretty much stopped updating or adding anything, and I'm just going to try to get through it as is. Because I have had, like Colin, where you were talking about, I think last or 2 episodes ago, or at some point you were talking about the RDO issues, and I've had a couple of those lockups that I think are related to RDO, where the audio just goes, and just the whole thing locks. Yeah. So,
I get it. I think I've had it quite a few times getting on the carriages. I don't know why.
Huh. Yeah. The only thing I've had a few issues with dual wielding spells.
Oh, okay.
The right hand, like when I go to dual hands, dual cast the spell with both hands at the same time. A lot of times the right hand won't work.
Huh.
And I'll have to go in and out of the menu and kind of open everything up again, and it seems to work. But I've noticed that where it kind of sticks a bit sometimes, especially when I'm trying to cast pretty quickly different spells.
Oh, you've got Ordinator and Apocalypse as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he slows down some of the spells and how long it takes to cast them.
Is it maybe like a cooldown time or something?
Not cooldown time, but as you're casting a spell,
the
animation is a little bit longer on some of the spells. Because I know that Circle of Death spell, I can only do it one-handed, even though I've got dual casting. It'll only let me do it from one hand, and it takes about 5 seconds to cast. It goes to the hand, and then it starts moving up and down and swirling, and then it sort of like finally pulls in the spell, and then you can activate it. Literally a good 5 seconds. You have to hold it down like a powers button. So,
in the meantime, Lydia's already killed all of your.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
she's walking off down the road somewhere else.
It's that Wrath of Meridia spell. Now, that one you have to go through the animation of activating the spell, and that gives you another spell, and then I have to dual cast that as well, and then that takes again another 5 seconds, and you store up your energy, and then suddenly wham, then it starts coming out, and they come out in like a big long stream of these like blasts of light. It's very cool, and it's fucking deadly to undead, but it does take quite a long time to cast. So I think that's just how he has it built into Ordinator, of how they activate the spells. And
that makes sense.
And because I don't have Ordinator, I have Apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
So it's probably just the Apocalypse things that's causing those spells to be a little bit longer to cast.
A little longer. Got it.
I wonder that, because I've noticed. I thought maybe something was wrong with my right mouse button on the PC, because I've had issues like that. But so maybe that's an interesting observation and revelation. Maybe exactly what my problem is.
Yeah, because I've noticed it, and I thought I was just, and what it must be is sometimes I'll accidentally cast with one hand, and that one's probably not finished when I'm trying to start the other one.
Yeah,
as a dual wield, So that's probably what that is. Because I've noticed it's been a little clunky for me. But I haven't really had too many other issues. Actually, that crash I had during the last episode was the first one I've had in quite a long time. I don't even remember the last time it froze up on me completely. It's, God, a lot of hours. I mean, because I spent a ton of time on Solstheim, like last week and the week before, and didn't have any issues at all. Nothing freezing up or anything like that. Even with like all the Reeklings running around and stuff, you can get a lot of bodies over there at once doing stuff. Especially, I went through Karstag, Castle Karstag, or the Karstag ruins or whatever it is. And there's a ton of Reekling as you're going through there. And no, I didn't have any issues over there slowing down or anything like that. So. Oh, I did battle Karstag with the runes, though, and that was really nice.
Interesting.
I laid out a ton of them.
He's pretty slow, so
yeah,
they would be quite handy.
Yeah, I laid out a bunch, and I just ran around, and then laid out a bunch, and then ran around. I'm playing on Legendary, so it took a while, but but I did get him. So now I have him for... I'm going to use him... Can you use him in Sovngarde? Is that technically outside?
I think so.
Really?
You can give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try it one way or the other. But, yeah, because he can only be called outside. That's the only thing. So, yeah, I was like, oh, let me get... I happened to buy his little cave, and I was like, oh. But then I forgot I didn't have the skull, so then I had to go all the way through the other entrance and get the skull. So there was that. Or no, the skull's in a different cave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to go all the way to the other cave, get the skull, and then come back. That's what it was.
The skull's like way deep down in a Reekling cave.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Yeah, I had to go somewhere else, go get it, and walk all the way back, and then go through it. I was like, I might as well get him because I wanted to kind of do everything on as much of Solstheim as I could while I happened to be there, rather than go back and forth since I'm not fast traveling.
That was one thing I was going to say. I don't know what it is. We got you guys and the Dremora merchant. Now, all right, fair enough. It's good. All right, but there's 1,000,009 merchants all across Skyrim and Solstheim. There is only one. Was it Daedric Butler in the entire game?
Is that one of the options?
Yeah, you can have a Daedric Butler who carries your shit, and he's all like, "Oh, I can't believe I got to carry your shit all across blah blah blah," and he moans like a bitch. Yeah. And it's awesome, and he's the only one in the game.
I've never used him.
Yeah, and he just carries all your shit, so you can. Basically, he's a transportable chest, so you can just give him all your shit and then carry it to a shop and then sell it. Although you do have to go in and out of inventory, so it's maybe not as efficient as the Daedra merchant. Yeah, but still, in all, it's more unique. I prefer the butler.
I've never used any of the other ones except for Black Market, except for the merchant. So I probably should try the other ones.
Yeah. Huzzah. Once again, Colin, you come up with a much better idea.
He does always sell Daedric gear, though. That's the other positive. Yes. Yeah. So there is that. So if you want to buy like Daedric arrows and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, no, I do get it. I just don't see it as interesting and as nice as I mean you could always go with the drum, but that's just weird.
Oh, is that what the other one is?
Yeah, it's the drum that beats alongside you. It would work awesome for Andrew.
That's a good
Andrew
point.
would love it.
Yeah, it's basically Andrew, you gotta go back and get it. Basically, it's a spiritual drum that follows you around and beats.
Oh my god!
So you could have a ghost drum just comes out of nowhere while you're playing your lute.
That's kind of perfect, actually.
And it regenerates your stamina too, so you can just basically run forever.
Oh, that's good if you're doing, some two-handed weapons and stuff like that. Yeah, I've never played around with, but you can just go back and change those, right? If you open the book.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can only open the books on Solstheim.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn, I forgot about that. I'm going to have to go back to Solstheim to reallocate my perk points. Thankfully, I have a house over there. Oh, another thing is I have the richer merchants things. Give everybody 10,000 gold. But that does not affect the Dremora merchant. He still only has 2,000 gold.
You suck!
So, after all that, he still only has 2,000 gold. So he's actually now the butler is way more useful now that I know that than he is. So
that's why I use mods like trade and barter and trade routes. It evens out the economy very nicely.
Yeah. I mean, the 10,000 is a little too much for everyone, but honestly, I just want to get rid of this stuff a lot of times.
Oh yeah,
and I'm building all the houses and all, so it's like nice to have that cash around.
Yeah.
Because I'll just buy, and sometimes I'll just go to the Dremora merchant and spend like 10,000 gold on like a battle axe or something. But
it's nice when you got a lot of cash; you can buy all the cool stuff.
Yeah, and he has all kinds of good stuff, and sometimes you find good stuff in the other merchants as well. And it's just like, I'll just buy that and then sell like these 85 rings that I made. Because otherwise you just can't get rid of that stuff. You're just stuck with it,
Yeah, I've got my selling chest is slowing down, and my storage chest of where I'm keeping all my cool stuff, all the name stuff like the Necromancer's Amulet and that's all slowing down now as well. So usually I spread stuff around and display it, but it's too much fun going out and adventuring. So she just comes back and just like dumps everything. Well, I got one blacksmith chest, one stuff to sell chest, and one cool stuff chest. The cool stuff chest and the selling chest is really slowing down because there's too much crap in all of them.
Oh, yeah.
I set up the 4 mannequins in the house you get in Solstheim. One is Mirak. One is a cultist.
Yep.
Another I did in the Deathbrand armor. And
with the stupid hat.
Yep. With the silly helmet that does not look like it fits that nice gear.
Nope. Not at all. Not even close.
What was the other one? I think the other one was did I put on Nordic Carved or I think no, you know what? I think I put Azidal's gear, except for the boots that I'm carrying.
Yeah, because you pick it up and use it for your enchanting because you get a 10% boost from this crap.
Yeah, so I put that there because I have an enchanting table there and all. The only thing I kept was the boots, obviously, for water walking. Just because that comes in handy.
Yeah, it does break was it Frostfall a little bit, but
yeah.
Where I am over in, because I have the same house as you, got the Hell Yarkin going to Solitude is a pain in the ass to walk. But I've just got the carriage, so she jumps her lazy ass on the carriage and gets them to go around the river.
Yeah, I do have the carriage too. Yeah, because walking there is a pain in the ass. It's a long way around the swamps.
Yeah, you have to walk all the way down to nearly all the way down to Morthal and then go back on yourself.
Yeah, you have to
avoid the river.
Yeah, you have to go all the way down to there. It's a long way down.
And you've got that asshole that the little the boat that you can hire just on the docks, right on the opposite side. You think you'd be able to throw a rock at him and go, "Hey, asshole,
come pick me up." Yeah. Nope, he doesn't come over.
No, he's eating his sandwiches or something. I'm on my lunch break.
Yeah, nice little boat mod would be good, where you just hop on the boat. Just take me over to the docks over there in Solitude, and we'll all be good.
Yeah, there is one.
Oh, is there? Well, not for Xbox, unfortunately. Right.
Yeah, I don't know why it couldn't be ported to Xbox. It's a pretty simple little mod, but
you can hire that guy at the boat to take you to was it Castle Volkihar, but it's like 500 gold for him to take you there.
Oh yeah.
Take me to that island. I ain't going to that island. Well, how about 500 gold? All right, but I'm just leaving you at the edge and leaving your ass there. I'm not waiting around. It's like a cabbie in New York.
Yeah. You can see that Castle Volkar a lot better in SE than you could on the other.
I think they've taken maybe some thingy from Dindalod because you can see a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
the object fade has been pushed out because the engine can handle it better, I guess.
Yeah, because you didn't used to be able to see that from the mainland, and now you kind of can. Oh, you know where I could see it from? When Meridia's Beacon, when I went up.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I turned
Yeah,
around.
I could see some waterfalls and everything when I was doing Meridia's Beacon. So, and plus sometimes when I turn around and Lydia's running behind me, she's actually disappears sometimes and then comes back into focus and then disappears again. So it's kind of strange how something that far away could be in focus, but something that's following me running down the road can disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess two different bits of graphic information. There's the LODs and there's the close-up stuff. So
yeah, that's
let's just call it magic.
Yes, it's FM.
But yeah, you can definitely see a lot more in different areas than you could previously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget when I did Meridia's Beacon, but I noticed that and I was like, wow, you could never see. I don't think you could see the castle previously, from being up there, and it was very clear. If you could see it before, it wasn't clear like this was. That's for sure.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, that makes sense. It's right there, you know. It is kind of close, but I just wandered into Darkfall. I think Darkfall Cave. That's isn't that part of Dawnguard?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so. I'm like, I remember this. Well, we do have we have some feedback from Denver. We're going to play a little bit of it. Let's see. Yes, the fourth one. So we're going to play a few minutes of this. The rest of it will be at the end of the episode. Then we'll talk about it a little bit.
Hello, everyone. This is Denver, and from the Facebook group, and I'm back for episode 4 of my Roundtable character, Crulius. When we last left Crulius, he was about to head off to Skyhaven Temple, but before leaving, Crulius decided that him and Lydia should get some supplies and maybe craft themselves some new armor. So he headed on over to the Riverwood Trader, where Crulius sold some of his more expensive potions to Lucin. And then he bought any smithing supplies he could find there. Then he headed over to Alvar. Either way, he headed over there and he talked to Alvor about making himself a new set of armor and wanted to see if Alvor had any suggestions. Alvor suggested that Crulius make this armor called Dwemer armor. Crulius had never heard of these Dwemer, but Alvor said that they are a respected and ancient, mysterious race that were much more advanced than the other races of Tamriel at their time. And he suspects that if Crulius were to make some armor in, some mock armor of in the Dwemer style, that it might benefit him greatly. So Alvor pulled out an old book that happened to have some sketches of Dwemer style armor in it. Then he pulled out a small cache of Dwemer metal that he had been saving, but was willing to part with it for, a little gold and obviously the honor of helping out the Dragonborn, which, Crulius was like, well, Dragonborn has its benefits. So anyway, they headed out to the forge, and Crulius began his hard labor of making some new armor for him and Lydia. It took Crulius several days of hard labor, but after, spending a lot of hard time crafting, Crulius was finally able to produce himself and Lydia a nice new set of Dwemer-style armor. Lydia seemed very pleased to have some new armor, and Crulius, although he still missed his Imperial armor, felt better to have some instead of running around in just some rags. Once done, Crulius gathered some supplies, some food, some water skins, and he and Lydia set out to the marked area on their map, which should be Skyhaven Temple. On their way to Skyhaven Temple, Crulius and Lydia decide to travel on foot. This surprises Lydia because typically they take a carriage. She asks Crulius if he's feeling alright, and he responds, "Yeah, I'm just still torn up about being separated from the Empire. I don't understand why it happened. I thought maybe walking there and taking in some of the nature of Skyrim would help me clear my head." Lydia nodded and said that she understood. On the way there, they had their typical fare, bandits, wolves, spiders, bears, oh my. And Crulius also spent some time collecting some more ingredients, and he started to feel a little better, but honestly, his heart wasn't in this whole Dragonborn thing anymore. If he wasn't doing it for the Empire, then why do it at all? Crulius said thought to himself that was selfish, and continued on to his quest, but he really felt conflicted. Eventually, they reached the area marked on their map. Upon arriving at the marked location, Crulius and Lydia crossed the two stone bridges they found at the location. After crossing the bridge, Crulius and Lydia met back up with Delphine and Eastburn. From a nearby rock outcropping, Crulius and the gang could see that the marked location was apparently some sort of ancient Nord ruin. There seemed to be what looked like primitive bandits walking around the place. Crulius thought to himself that they wouldn't be a challenge at all, and, ordered the party to charge in. He soon found out that these bandits were more than they appeared, calling themselves Forsworn, and many of them were magically gifted. It was a hard battle, but Crulius, did his normal thing, stood in the back, held up his shield, and let his companions take all of the brunt for him. Eventually, the last Forsworn fell, and they found their way into the ruins. Alright, sorry guys, I think I said that they entered the ruin itself, but it's actually a small cave across from the ruin. Anyway, once inside, Crulius noticed that the cave was, kind of dark, damp. Really thought to himself, guys, is this really where the ancient blades had their secret temple? To which Eastburn responded, "Yes, this is exactly where. We are in the correct spot. We will find the ancient temple deeper inside." Crulius just sighed and said, "Alright, let's go." And the party moved deeper into the cave. About 5 foot into the cave, the gang was set upon by a couple more of these Forsworn. At this point, Crulius is getting really sick of them. He kind of wishes these guys would just go away. But, whatever, I guess. In the next room, Crulius and the gang discovered a very, very complicated ancient Nord puzzle. And it did seem more impressive. It seemed like this maybe would be the secret hideout of the ancient blades. But, oh man, Crulius could tell it was going to take hours upon hours upon... Oh, never mind. They already solved it. Excuse me, I misspoke. It was actually an ancient Akaviri / Blades puzzle. Either way, come on, guys. Skyrim puzzles. You know what I'm talking about. So the gang progressed a little further into the cave. As the party entered the next chamber, they discovered the next complicated puzzle that was sure to take hours to solve. Oh, wait, Delphine's saying something. Yes, I think we just step on the Dragonborn symbols and we should be fine. Oh, okay, so apparently they just step on the Dragonborn symbols and they should be fine. The gang progresses through the room with no problems. As the gang progressed deeper in the cave, they came to the top of the small cavernous area that they were in previously, and Crulius was actually a little taken aback. They entered a large chamber with a large temple-like structure, and in place of a door, there was a massive statue head. It was actually pretty cool looking. As they approached the center of the room, Eastburn began to babble on about...
Yeah, I do have to say that head in that room is one of the most, I don't know, striking features you come across when you're going through quests.
It really is one of the better scenes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Was it the Remus or Riemann? Riemann, isn't that his name?
I don't remember if I ever looked up what it was. I didn't know it. Is he like the founder of the Blades or something? Or
I think it's Remus.
I don't think I've ever looked it up either, actually.
But yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that you come across, you're like, wow, that's It looks really cool when you just that image. It's very striking when you first go in there. I believe it's actually in the Skyrim texture pack or the Skyrim pack for Minecraft also. I think that head's in there in a Minecraft version. But yeah, those puzzles are a little simple, but if you don't pay attention, they're hard. If you skip through people talking, you'll be flipping those 3 stones forever to get the bridge come down.
Yeah, that's true.
If you don't know it's the Dragonborn symbol, or if you and you just walk across the floor and get killed. But if you pay attention, they're pretty simple. You would expect them to be a little more difficult to get to the temple for the blades at this point in the quest, I would think. A little more than just and they're a little different than the other parts too. They're not like the normal turning stones and things like that.
But he's right. I mean, the puzzles in Skyrim aren't particularly hard.
No, they're
puzzles.
If they're even puzzles, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think
there was some video saying that the puzzles to get into the ancient Nordic ruins are not to keep people out, it's to keep the undead locked away. So that's why they're not particularly hard.
That does make sense, yeah. Yeah,
it's just doors that are locking them in so they can't get out. So for you to be able to have the dragon claw and get in shouldn't actually be that hard.
That would be fine, except that the Draugr are in lots of caves without the puzzles.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really...
I guess because the dilapidated ruins, so all the caves have caved in. Riemann Cyrodiil, it was called the Worldly God from the Second Empire. It looks like he was kind of like the guy who started Cyrodiil or got named Cyrodiil or named himself after Cyrodiil.
Oh, cool.
Something like that. So that's who he is, Riemann Cyrodiil.
Okay, that makes sense.
Something or other.
Somebody
from the Akavir who came to find that's who the guy's head is.
Oh, well, there you go. So now we learned something at least.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I just thought it was a really cool looking head. Thought it was like the Wizard of Oz or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the cool animation there as well. So cut the head,
the blood seal. Yeah, I do like that. That's very well done. It's one of the few cutscenes that you actually get to see. That and I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's any others.
Dawn God.
Oh yeah. The end, right?
You got the one that where you push the hand to lift the sarcophagus out.
Yes.
And spike goes through the back of your hand.
That's right.
Like,
for the blood for the
fuck?
thing. Yeah.
That's it. I'm going home. Fuck this shit.
That's right.
Forgot about that to get to whatchamacallit. Yep.
It doesn't matter about dragonfire or anything else, but a couple of spikes in the back of the hand, fuck it.
That's right.
I've had enough.
That's just peevish, all right? There's a thing about being evil and sort of like, the worst thing of history, but actually being like, a little bit on the peevish side. Nah, I ain't putting up with that shit.
Yeah.
It's like getting beaten up by your older sister. It's the worst thing in the world.
Oh, man.
Especially when you're 35 or so, right?
Yeah.
She's 12.
She's 12.
I know it means older sister, but younger sister's even worse.
Oh man, yeah, I'm excited to get back in. I love the Forgotten Vale so much. I really want to get back there again. It's been a long time since I went there, and actually, the last time I went there, I wasn't. I'd never activated the dragons, so I didn't even get to battle the double dragons.
Those are fun,
yeah. That's a good fun battle. Especially if you have someone helping you. But the ice coming through the ice there—that's pretty cool. And the last time I didn't get to do that since they are not there if you don't start the dragons. they don't pop up.
Yeah.
But I really the Vale is just such a nice area. Can you go back there? You can't go back there, right? Or can you?
No, you can. Yeah,
You can?
Yeah, you can go back.
I don't think I ever have gone back afterwards.
yeah. I think you have to go all the way through Darkfall Cave again, though. I think.
Is that what it is? Okay, that's why.
But you can, once you get there, you can travel through the way shrines.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can hop from place to place through the way shrines once you have those all opened up. Yeah.
Yeah, I always lose my way when I'm trying to find all those.
I know, I do too. I tend to forget. Like, there's one that's relatively close to when you first get into the open area, and I tend to miss that and then have to go all the way back.
Yeah, it's like up the hill and to the right or something like that.
Yeah. That's the same one I miss. Yeah.
Actually, you don't have to go all the way through Darkfall Cave again, because once you do all the quests, that opens up the way shrine that Gellabor is standing outside.
Yes.
So you can teleport through that one and go through to all the others all across the Vale. So, because I think I went back to get all the paragons.
Oh yeah,
the amethyst and the diamond and the sapphire things. I think you get them off the frost giants.
Yep, you have to kill the frost giants. The frost giants seem so nice compared to the other giants, so I feel bad killing them.
Just think Karstag.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he's not so nice, is he?
Yeah.
But he is on your side after you kill him.
That's true. Yeah, I've never done the whole Palantir, Fabergé egg, whatever the heck those things are, quest line and received the, what is it, a shield? I forget. It's a shield, right, that you got in the Forgotten Vale? Yeah. In
one of the locations you get Oriel's shield, yes.
That's what it is, yeah. I had done it previously when I got them all. That was a while ago, though. I haven't done it in quite a while.
I think Gopher did that late in his playthrough. He shifted from the Spellbreaker to Oriel's shield, I think, if I remember correctly. That was a long time ago, though.
Well, I need
to he had extra light mods as well, so his Dawnbreaker and his Oriel shield gave off like magical light, so he didn't have to use like a torch or anything like that. He just equipped Dawnbreaker, and it would just light up the cave as he was walking along with it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, not many people can do it, but fucking Gopher and his sort of like, master modding stuff. He can, he can pretty much do whatever he wants.
Yeah, really.
It's like, he's got in Fallout New Vegas, they've got this really cool armor. Well, it's called Veteran NCR Ranger armor. It's absolutely fucking awesome. It looks really cool, mainly because of the overcoat jacket with the huge collar on it, and it's like brown. It's got bullet holes in it, and it looks really cool.
He's managed to have bandoilers and everything on it as well.
Yeah, and he's managed to be able to just take the coat off the armor and then put it on different types of armor. So he still has the uber cool coat, and then able to put it on other armors that are on his body part and his leg part.
Yeah,
nice.
For somebody like me to be able to do that, they'd have to wait for a modder to be able to make each individual ones. But whereas he's a master modder, he can do pretty much whatever he wants. And it's a pain in the ass because you watch his stuff and you go, "Oh, I want my game to be that cool," but it just never
gets there.
Close.
Give me enough practice, Colin. I'll try for you.
Yeah, I'll send you a list. This is what I want to look.
All right, okay. You're going to be as bad as Andrew now, aren't you?
Yeah. This is my nipple color. Left eye this color. Right eye that color. This is where I want the grey patch of hair.
I take it
in
you
my
want your
black
nipple
beard.
colour predator pink.
Yeah, one of them.
All right, guys, I'm going to have to cut it short because I've got to go and sort out little one and let my missus have some time to chill out.
Sounds good.
So I'm going to disappear.
Good luck with that.
All righty. Have fun.
Great job again, Marcus. Can't wait till next time.
I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Enjoy.
No, dear.
Cheers. Okay.
Good night.
Bye-bye. See ya.
I guess we could wrap this up anyway.
Yeah, let's go in there.
So we stay tuned for a little feedback at the end here from Denver, the rest of the one from this episode that we played. And of course, if you have any feedback, send it skyrimaddictpodcast@gmail.com. Roundtable feedback, skyrimroundtable@gmail.com. And then you can check out all the other shows over at asapodcasting.com. Maybe by the time this comes out, we'll have the new Facebook page up and doing the Facebook Live stuff. Just haven't had a lot of time to sit down with that yet. So I was going to do it today, but I literally ran in the door and opened a Hangout and did it. So I didn't have time to set it up. But it seems pretty simple, and I think I had worked the bugs out mostly with running the audio through my phone. So.
Oh, cool.
It's just weird that it's. I think you can only do the live events mobily. So I kind of got to run them through the phone, which is weird. But I can also, do YouTube at the same time through the computer. So, but
they're changing all kinds of stuff with the Hangouts, aren't they? So
yeah, it's nice to have the Facebook Live thing because it's just easy and it pops up and shows as if people are on Facebook and they can just hop in, Yeah. Whereas YouTube, you kind of have to search it out. So we're hoping to start doing that, but life and stuff like that.
Yeah, life.
Life takes time, and figuring out these simple things takes time. So,
It's a bit of a bitch.
Alrighty, that's been episode 114. No trolls in the YouTube chat in this second episode. Been amazing. It's an amazing thing. So
it is. It's pretty awesome.
I'll take it. Thanks for listening, everybody, and talk to you next time.
Good night, everyone.
Later, guys.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Skyrim Addict. You can find all of our contact information, YouTube channel information, as well as other shows over at asapodcasting.com, including our newest show, The Fallout Feed. Special thanks to Claire Lafar for the show's artwork. You can find her stuff at etsy.com/MayaFirePrints, MayaFirePrints. And a thank you to Dan Bull for the use of his music in the Roundtable open and close. You can find him on YouTube or iTunes. Just search Dan Bull. Once again, thanks for listening, and later, everyone.
As the game progressed deeper in the cave, they came to the top of the small cavernous area that they were in previously, and Crulius was actually a little taken aback. They entered a large chamber with a large temple-like structure, and in place of a door, there was a massive statue head. It was actually pretty cool looking. As they approached the center of the room, Eastburn began to babble on about, "Oh, the Akaviri, they're very ancient and mysterious. They must have had a very complicated puzzle to keep at any non-Blades members. If only we could figure it out, maybe if we think back to the very beginning of time." As he babbled on, Crulius felt his eyelids begin to grow heavy, and decided he would suddenly lay down for a little nap. Unfortunately, on his way down, Crulius clipped a rock, and a little bit of blood seeped out of the wound and into the strange symbols on the floor. And wow, magically that happened to activate the gate. Esbern exclaimed, "Whoa, Crulius, how did you know this would be how to open the gate?" Crulius said, "Well, it must be something with my dragonborn natural abilities. I just happened to figure it out. Anyway, let's continue on." So the gang moved into the new opening in the ancient temple. They entered the final chamber of the Skyhaven Temple and found what looked like a banquet hall, complete with a giant mural that seemed to depict Alduin in the past, present, and future. Crulius was amazed by the sights of this hall. Eastburn, of course, immediately went running over to the wall to try to translate what it might say. Just a quick aside here, guys. For some reason, in the past, I've never explored the Skyhaven Temple. But this time around, I found an awesome blade sword with a unique enchantment on it, and a full set of blades armor. I never even knew that stuff was there. Anyway, moving on. My bad. As Crulius rejoined Eastburn at the wall, Eastburn began to ramble on about, "Oh, the ancient Akaviri, so smart. They had so many mysterious ways. They must tell us how they defeated the Alduin." As he babbled on, Crulius tried his hardest. He really did to stay awake. Unfortunately, there was a comfortable chair nearby. Crulius sat down and fell asleep for a unknown amount of time. Upon awakening, Lydia was happy to fill him in on what Eastburn had talked about. Lydia basically let Crulius know that Eastburn had discovered that a shout was used previously to rip Alduin from the sky so that he could be harmed. Delphine then approached Crulius and told him,
"Oh, we're looking for a shout. Where will we ever find such a thing? Do you know anyone who may know about shouts here?"
Crulius responded,
"Yes, the Greybeards are pretty good with their shouts. And maybe if I go back up to the Greybeards, they can bore me to death, but possibly teach me this shout that they once used to take down Alduin."
Delphine at this rolled her eyes.
"Oh, well, if you're already part of that cult, I guess you can go ask them for help. But really, you should stay away from those guys."
Crulius thought to himself,
"Well, if the Greybeards are a cult, what exactly are the Blades?"
But anyway, he rolled his eyes aside and said, "All right, I guess I'll head back to the Throat of the World. Come on, Lydia." And the two of them left the secret hideout of the Blades Sky Temple to head to the Throat of the World. On the way out of the Blades Temple, Crulius decided to get Lydia to stress test the new armor they had found in the temple. He put the chest piece of the dwarven armor on and let her hit him full force with her axe, which knocked him out for a few minutes. But once he came to, he was like, "Okay, now let's try the Blades armor." So he put that on and had Lydia take a swing at him again, but this time she was only able to make him stagger a little bit. So Crulius decided, well, there goes all the freaking hard work I did on that Blades armor, or on the on the dwarven armor. Oh well, I guess I'll just wear this Blades armor I found. Yeah, I guess it's pretty cool looking too. So Crulius went ahead and strapped on the Blades armor, and then they exited the temple to head to the Throat of the World. Lydia and Crulius began their long journey back to the Throat of the World, of course encountering the usual fare. And on the way there, they decided to stop into Whiterun and sell a couple of the things they had picked up on their way through the Forsworn camp, and grab some supplies. And then they headed back out to the Throat of the World. After leaving Whiterun, Lydia and Crulius made another hard journey across Skyrim to the town of... forgot the name, 1 second. Sorry about that, Iverstead. So once there, they began their climb of the 7,000 steps. Again. On their way back up the 7,000 steps, Crulius ran across, another freaking frost troll, ice wolf, ice wraith, and just all kinds of unpleasant things. Luckily, Lydia took most of the blows for Crulius as he, did his normal thing, stood in the back, and tried to shoot fireballs around her wherever he could. Eventually, they reached the top. Crulius was freezing, so he forgot his pleasantries and just barged right into the Greybeard's Hall. Crulius found, what's his name? Hold on 1 second. Was it Arangir? Arangir the Greybeard, sitting in his study. Crulius approached him and told him that he had met with the Blades and that they had found their way into Skyhaven Temple and read the prophecy from the Alduin's Wall, and that they had told him he would need some shout that the ancient Nords had used to defeat Alduin once before. Arangir was very unhappy with Crulius, saying things like,
"How could you go to the Blades? They're terrible. They're absolutely horrible."
And then stuff like,
"Our leader Parthonax would not approve, but now thanks to these darn Blades, you'll have to go talk to him, because he's the only one who might know. How could you?"
And then he was like,
"Oh, Crulius, we'll have to teach you a shout so you can get to the top of the mountain."
Crulius is like, oh, geez, just get on with it already. I'm so tired of hearing your old man voice yabber at me. So he followed Arangir to the next chamber to learn this mysterious shout. Once outside, the Greybeards imparted their knowledge of the clear skies shout to Crulius, and which, by the way, is my favorite shout ever. I use it constantly. Easily the best shout ever in the game, hands down. And Crulius likes it too, thinking, now I'll never have to walk through another shitty, stormy day. I'll just shout at the skies and make it beautiful. So anyway, then they told Crulius that he would need the shout to make his way up to Parthenax at the top of the mountain. So Crulius bidded them adieu and turned around to begin his journey up the mountain. Crulius had a very difficult time making his way up to the top of the throat of the world. He had to face such perilous feats, such as howling winds that immediately sapped his strength and energy, and dangerous, I guess ice snakes is how Crulius would describe him, that would snap at him and try to tear off his flesh. By the end of it, Lydia ended up carrying him like a small child up the last couple hundred feet. But eventually they reached the top of the mountain, and there they saw a massive ancient dragon which Crulius immediately hurled a fireball at. Luckily, Parthenax was able to bat the fireball aside as if it was child's play and told Crulius, "Come, my child, I am the leader of the Greybeards who you seek." Crulius slowly lowered his flames in disbelief, but cautiously approached this ancient dragon. Once Crulius had chatted with the dragon for a few moments, he decided to jump straight to business and ask Parthenax how he could defeat Alduin to teach him the shout Dragon Rend. Parthenax responded that there are formalities that must be kept first. With this, he shouted at the dragon wall that was at the peak of the mountain and engraved a new word upon it and asked Crulius to learn the word. He told Crulius that the word would allow him to breathe fire like the Dova. Crulius was like, "Frickin' sweet, man, I'm gonna burn some things." So he quickly learned the shout and then approached Parthenax again. Parthenax then asked Crulius to use his new shout on him to greet him as the Dova would. Crulius thought this was a little weird, but he was excited to test out his breathe fire shout. So he gathered all his strength and spoke the word he had just learned, shooting a ball of fire right into Parthenax's face, who didn't even seem to feel it, or, in fact, seemed invigorated by it. Crulius had a long conversation with Parthenax, much of which was over his head. Honestly, Parthenax went into a lot about philosophy and history, and just a lot of things that Crulius has no interest in. In the end of it all, Lydia was happy to sum it up for him, saying that basically Parthenax said to learn the Dragon Rend shout, Crulius would have to actually go back in time and witness the shout being used, and the only way to do this would be to go find something called an Elder Scroll, and then bring it back to the top of the mountain, where he could open a rip in the time wound that is there to go back and witness the shout being used. Crulius could hardly believe this. I mean, really. But after getting his head around it for a few minutes, he asked Lydia if she had any idea where to find an Elder Scroll. She said she didn't, so Crulius figured he'd go to the two wisest, most babbling old men he knew and see if they happen to know anything about it. So he headed back down the mountain to see Arangar about this Elder Scroll, and if he didn't know anything, he decided he'd make the long trek back to Skyhaven Temple to talk to Easeburn. So they set back off down the mountain. After another harsh journey back down the icy hellhole of Skyrim that they had just come up, they reached High Hrothgar once more, and Crulius went inside to speak to Arangir about this Elder Scroll. Crulius approached Arangir, and Arangir's advice was,
No, of course I know nothing of this strange Elder Scroll, but the mages of Winterhold may know such things. You should go visit them instead. Crulius said, Alright, thanks, old man. I guess I'll head off to this Winterhold. Could you, maybe show me on my map? So Arendir pointed out Winterhold. Crulius thanked him, and off they set off again, back down the mountain, and far, far to the cold, blistery north to Winterhold. Once Crulius and Lydia made it back down to the bottom of the third of the world, without much trouble, since they had just slaughtered their way up it, Crulius quickly flagged down the nearest farmer. Lydia asked him what he was doing. He said, Lydia, I'm tired of walking all over this damn place. We've been walking all day and all night and all day again. I'm taking a damn carriage to Winterhold. Screw this Skyrim. Lydia said, Oh, my thing, do you want me to carry you? He said, No, Lydia, I wouldn't want you to strain your arm muscles. We might need them later when we're fighting something that you'll have to take care of for me. So they flagged down the nearest farmer and hitched a ride to Winterhold in exchange for some gold pieces. For once, Crulius didn't have to be woken up at the end of their carriage ride, as his eyelids were frozen open due to the extreme cold. Crulius rubbed his eyes to try to warm them up the best he could, and he and Lydia hopped out of the back of the carriage to enter Winterhold, so they could see the mages in the College of Winterhold about this mysterious Elder Scroll. As Crulius and Lydia strolled through the town of Winterhold, Crulius was a little taken aback by the state of the town. He turned to Lydia, and he asked, Lydia, what happened to this town? It looks terrible. Lydia responded, My thing, rumor has it that the College of Winterhold somehow destroyed most of the town years ago, but no one's really sure. Well, that's terrible. I'm sure the mages are capable of that sort of thing, but why would they destroy a town that is around their own college? Either way, it's a pitiful state of things. We'll have to see about this. With that, they approached the bridge that seemed to lead to a tall building resting on an island of rocks where, presumably, the rest of the town once had been. They were stopped by a woman standing at the bridge. The woman's name was Feralda. She said she was there to test people to see if they were worthy of entering the college, and that if Crulius wanted to cross the bridge to enter the college, he would first need to show her a spell. Crulius thought to himself, what if instead I show her the voice? So, Crulius took in a deep breath and shouted right in the woman's face, his new clear sky shout. Unfortunately, it did knock the woman on her butt, but in return, it stopped the blizzard that was going on at the time, so Crulius thought it was a pretty fair display of power. The woman Feralda stood to her feet and dusted herself off. She then told Crulius,
Wow, what a display of power! That literally made me weak at the knees. Of course you can enter the college. I think we would have a lot of fun studying you.
Crulius began to blush a little bit, but he nodded and decided to follow her in. On the way up to the gates, the woman Feralda seemed to be doing her best to impress Crulius in return, occasionally stopping to shoot a tiny ball of magic at these pools of strange liquid, which then would emit a tall beam of blue light. Crulius was a little impressed, but he would never tell her that. Once inside the college, Crulius was impressed by the architecture and was immediately approached by an elderly dark elf by the name of Savos Aran, who immediately told Crulius he had heard about the fact that they had the legendary Dragonborn visiting, and that he would love to have Crulius join the college. Crulius politely turned him down, saying that he was on a more important mission, but maybe one day, if time permitted, Crulius might come back and explore a little more of this college's secrets. With that, he asked the headmaster where the library was so that he may speak to their librarian about this mysterious scroll and see if he had heard anything of it. Savos pointed him inside and up the stairs, so Crulius left and went to find the librarian. As Crulius approached the librarian's desk, he was surprised to find the cutest old orc he'd ever seen. Crulius was actually a little nervous to speak to the strapping orc, but he gathered up his courage, cleared his throat, and asked the orc for his attention. Crulius told the old orc that he was searching for something called an Elder Scroll. The orc laughed and said,
"How? Do you even know what an Elder Scroll is, or are you just somebody's errand boy?"
With that, Crulius was a little peeved, but he said calmly,
"I am the Dragonborn, and I was sent here to find this Elder Scroll. It's very important for the fate of the world. You would be wise not to upset me."
The orc kind of snuffed at him and said, "If you're the Dragonborn, I guess I could give you a little knowledge. Wait here, I'll get you everything we have." And with that, he got up out of his chair and began to search around his little arcanium for information on the Elder Scrolls. Crulius waited patiently, although he was growing quite bored. After what seemed like an hour, the orc finally slammed down a couple books on the desk for Crulius to look over. Crulius, of course, asked Lydia to look over them while he stood around and stared at his feet. Finally, Lydia reported back that one of the books didn't really seem to help much, but the other one seemed to be written by some madman, and that maybe if they could find this madman, they would learn more about the Elder Scrolls. So Crulius turned to the orc and asked,
"You heard her. Where is this madman that wrote this book?"
The orc gruffed and said, "Oh, that's the work of Sigmund Cygnus. He's the world's master on Elder Scrolls, but, he's been missing for a while. Last anyone saw, he was heading to the north on some ice shelf. Said he had found some ancient Dwemer artifact. Who knows? We'll probably never hear from him again. You're always welcome to go search for his body if you like." Crulius sighed and rolled his eyes. "Great.
Now I have to go off into this hellhole of Skyrim's ocean and hop along icebergs trying to find some old-ass man to see if he happens to be still alive to ask about this Elder Scroll. Great. All right, Lydia, let's go."
"Yes, my Thane." So, with that, the two of them headed out of the college and set out north across the icy waters of Skyrim to search for this Sigmund Cygnus, I believe. Oh, I'm sorry. It's actually Septimus Cygnus, my bad. On their way into the oceans of Skyrim, the pair were able to mostly avoid the icy waters by staying on small iceberg bridges and little sandbars, although there were a few moments where Crulius had to have Lydia carry him in her strong Nordic arms to keep him from getting any of Skyrim's frozen piss on him. But to return the favor, Crulius did notice Lydia eyeing a couple of fat slug-like creatures on the shore of one of the sandbars, which she apparently called horkers and thought were very delicious. So Crulius roasted a couple for the pair, and they had themselves a nice little horker meal before continuing their journey. Eventually, they found a iceberg that seemed to have a small cave in the side of it, which might be a place that someone, an old Elder Scrolls master might hide, so they headed inside. The pair lucked out. Inside of the cave, they found what seemed to be a kooky old man worshipping or praying over a giant bronze box of some sort. Crulius said,
"This must be the guy. Let's head down there and talk to him."
So they approached the old man and spoke to him. After Crulius hailed the man began to just babble incoherently. Crulius couldn't get a word in edgewise, so he began to just loudly repeat,
Elder Scroll, Elder Scroll, Elder Scroll, Elder Scroll.
Eventually, this seemed to trigger something in the old man's mind, and he had a moment of clarity.
What? You want the Elder Scroll? I know where that is. Here, take these things, and I'll mark it on your map, and then you can go get the Elder Scroll. Yay!
Crulius shook his head, but decided to take advantage of the moment of clarity, passed his map over to the old man, and grabbed the two objects the man was offering him. With that, they headed back out of the icy cave and towards the marked location on their map. The pair arrived at the marked location on their map after traveling across the icy pits of Skyrim, the frozen waste of Skyrim, and fighting many of the snowy monkey men of Skyrim. Once they arrived at the marked location, it seemed to be some sort of ancient ruin. Lydia corrected Crulius, saying, "This is actually a dwarven ruin, my thane." Crulius just stared at her blankly until finally she said, "Let's go inside, I guess."
Alright, sounds like a plan.
So the pair searched around until eventually they found a way into this ancient dwarven ruin. Once inside, the pair discovered that these ruins were seemingly nothing more than an icy cave at first. As they made their way through, they also discovered that this icy cave must not be a friendly one, as every 5 feet or so there was about 4 gallons of blood spilt all over the place. They just kept their guard up and headed deeper inside. Eventually, they entered an area that was less icy and more stony, and seemed to have these strange bronze pipes flowing back and forth everywhere. Crulius was actually a little impressed by this new location, and they even discovered that it seemed to be warm down here, as if there might be some sort of hot liquid flowing through these pipes. Crulius was very pleased, and the pair of them headed even deeper. Soon the pair began to find small, statuesque, spider-like creatures made of the same brass the pipes were. They didn't seem to do anything, but Crulius did enjoy looting them for some choice materials like rare gems and oil that he thought he could use in his crafting and alchemy. While looting one of the bodies, it suddenly sprung to life and latched itself onto Crulius, attacking him with tiny metal claws. Crulius panicked and ran full force into a wall nearby, smashing the thing and knocking himself out temporarily. When he came to, he just shook his head and said,
"Well, Lydia, we'll have to be more careful if there's things like that around here. I mean, Christ, what is wrong with your homeland?"
Lydia just shook her head, and the pair headed deeper into the ruins, now keeping their guard up even more. As the pair progressed further, they discovered that these arachnid-esque metal creatures seemed to pop out of pipes every 5 feet or so. Crulius was not liking this job already, and who knows how far he'd have to go before he found this Elder Scroll. He found himself hoping that somebody would have stashed it in some chest just near the entrance. But it doesn't seem like they'll have any such luck. Soon after that, the pair was attacked by what seemed to be a skooma-crazed Khajiit. Crulius tried to shoot a fireball at him, missed, and then promptly began to run around the room until Lydia was finally able to sink an arrow right into the Khajiit's eye. Crulius just shook his head and said,
"Well, of course, the resourceful Khajiit would find a place like this a cozy den to do their skooma in. Well, you know those Khajiit. They're lovable skooma heads, all right."
With that, he looted the Khajiit's body, and they continued further into the ruins. Further in the ruins suddenly seemed to become more complicated, with larger pipes, gears, and even lanterns of strange blue light here and there. Crulius was impressed, but before he could get too lost in the views, 2 small balls seemed to come bouncing out of a couple of nearby pipes. Crulius just stared at them a moment until the top suddenly opened, and out came a humanoid brass figure, who immediately began attacking Crulius with a bladed arm. Crulius screamed for his life, shot flames in the thing's face, and ran in circles until Lydia was finally able to catch up and cut the thing to pieces with her new sword they had obtained back at the, oh shoot. Well, you guys know, the place where the blades hide out. What is it, Skyhaven Temple? There we go. Sorry about that. Anyway, Crulius turned to Lydia and asked, "What the heck are these things? Seriously, who were these dwarven people, or Dwemer, or whatever you call them?" Lydia responded, "My thing, they were an ancient and very advanced race. Have you really never heard of them? I mean, didn't you attend any kind of school? They're pretty widely known. I mean, their ruins are scattered all over Tamriel." "No, I didn't go to school, Lydia. Do I look like some kind of nerd to you? Anyway, these Dwemer must be insane to have built such strange contraptions. We should keep our guard up in case we find any more dangerous ones." And with that, they headed deeper into the ruins still, now watching out for spiders and balls. You know, the typical things you have to watch out for in a ruin. Whoa, just a quick aside. I just found out just having a flame spell in your hand now is enough to set off gas in the air. Almost lost Crulius and Lydia down here. Anyway, as the party continued deeper into the ruins, they began to stumble upon all kinds of chests full of very interesting and useful crafting ingredients and gear. One such chest had a very obvious trap in front of it, but Crulius isn't the brightest guy in the world, so he ran right up to the chest, flung it open, and immediately caught a bladed Dwemer spear to the face. Luckily, his helmet was in the way, and it merely knocked him on his butt instead of killing him. Crulius just panted heavily, stood up, stepped on the trap a second time, catching the same spear in the same place on his helmet. Finally, Lydia pushed him aside, carefully stepped over the trap, and pulled all the useful items out of the chest for him. He just nodded his head gruffly, and the pair continued on. Sorry, just want to let you guys know about a interesting glitch I just had. For about the past 3 or 4 minutes, I had activate door on my cursor, even though I hadn't seen a door in quite some time. I just thought y'all might find that interesting. Deeper in the ruins, the pair came across these pistons placed precariously on the edge of a deep ravine, seemingly meant to push off unwary adventurers. Luckily for Crulius, Lydia simply took him by the arms and instructed him when to walk and when to not. Otherwise, Crulius surely would have fallen to his death. Deeper inside the Dwemer ruin, the atmosphere seemed to grow more dank and dark. Soon, the pair began to see what seemed to be weapons and armor made of insect parts and piles of eggs, insect-esque eggs everywhere. Crulius turned to Lydia for an explanation, who told him that the insect parts and eggs were from an insect called a chorus, which was a sure sign that a race called the Falmer must be living down here, which apparently isn't that uncommon. Crulius just thought to himself, great, more strange races and creatures in Skyrim, as if it didn't already have enough. I'm sure this pair will be real fun to deal with. With that, they continued deeper into the ruins. Soon thereafter, the walls of the Dwemer ruin seemed to fall away and opened up into what seemed to be a ramp spiraling down into the darkness. Gods only know what might await them down there. As the pair continued deeper down into the dark ruins of the dark Dwemer ruins, Crulius got to discover what exactly these Chorus and Falmer were for himself. As he ran from the horrible creatures and watched Lydia fight them, he thought to himself they would be more accurately described as the skittering black stink bugs from Oblivion and the creepy old man impersonators. Crulius just shook his head and lobbed another fireball, watching the last one burn to death. Quick aside, Lydia somehow managed to teleport to the very bottom of the area the two of them were in, and then promptly brought all of the enemies in the entire area all the way back to the top to meet Crulius. So the two ended up bunkering down behind a door and just waiting for someone to open it, burning them to death, and then closing it again until eventually they sifted through every Falmer in the area. As if the Dwemer spiders weren't enough, the pair was actually set upon by a giant frostbite spider at some point during their descent. Crulius's distaste for these creatures is so great that he literally climbed onto the corpse and roasted it until he passed out from exhaustion. Lydia just sighed, rolled her eyes, and threw Crulius's limp body over her shoulders, and then the pair continued deeper into the ruins. While exploring further, the party was suddenly set upon by a giant brass golem. The thing began to shoot steam from its face and swing around a massive hammer. Crulius did his normal thing, ran, shot fireballs, hid behind his shield, yelled for Lydia to save him, and eventually, with some hard work, they managed to take the thing down. Soon the party ran into a pair of fellow adventurers who seemed to be arguing about who would be stealing whose glory. Before Crulius could get a word in edgewise, the pair started to kill each other, so he decided to sit back and watch. Once one of them was claimed the victor, Crulius just simply walked up and threw a fireball into their face, finishing them off. He then promptly looted both bodies and began to search the room for a way to progress deeper, as it seemed to be a dead end. After watching Crulius struggle for a few minutes, Lydia finally spoke up and said, "My thing, didn't that crazy man give us a couple of objects and mention that one of them may be a key?" Crulius thought to himself,
"Well, yes, I suppose he did, Lydia. What's your point?"
"Well, my Thane, it does seem as if this pedestal in the middle of the room might have a slot that maybe one of those objects would fit into. Just a thought." Crulius glared at her, but finally decided to walk over, and he attempted to put one of the objects into the hole. When it didn't work, because clearly it wasn't the right shape, he tried the other, and magically, a staircase seemed to appear, leading deeper into the Dwemer ruins. Once they reached the bottom of the staircase and exited through another door, they found themselves in a wide cavern deep underground, which was very beautiful and seemed to be lit up by glowing fungus hanging from the ceilings. There were also giant glowing mushrooms growing everywhere. Crulius was speechless by these sights, but after taking it all in for a while, they decided to head further into this deep, dark place. Lydia mentioned that she may have heard rumors of a place like this called Blackreach. Crulius just nodded, and they both carried on. Just another quick aside, I happen to give Lydia a couple stabs to hold on to, specifically 2 stabs of fireball, and it has just turned her into a little fireball throwing turret. It's hilarious. Nothing can even get close to her because she just throws about 50 fireballs per second. It's awesome. Anyway, as the party progressed through this Blackreach, they had to overcome many skittering black stink bugs from Oblivion, old man impersonators, and living dwarven statue assholes. Eventually, after checking tons and tons of dwarven ruins, Crulius finally found a lift that seemed to go even deeper into the earth. Crulius figured if there was going to be an Elder Scroll hidden anywhere, it must be down in this one, so they took the lift down. As the pair entered the ruins at the bottom of the lift, they found a massive room filled with a just slightly less massive dwarven spear of some sort. Crulius thought to himself they had certainly found the right place. After searching the room The pair of them found a elevator that appeared to go all the way back up to the surface, which Crulius thought himself would be handy if they can ever figure out how to get this Elder Scroll. Lydia seemed to find a journal of some sort on a skeleton, and then she told Crulius after reading it that she knew how to do it. She asked him to hand over the cube, and she quickly went to work. After Lydia played with the machine for a while, moving things here and there, eventually a massive crystal descended from the ceiling and opened up. Inside, Crulius could see it. The scroll. He quickly approached, grabbed the scroll, and shoved it into his pack. Crulia grabbed the lexicon and put it into hers. And with that, the pair left for the lift back out to Skyrim. On the way back to the college, Lydia mentioned that Septim Sigmus may want his strange cube back. Crulius said that he didn't have time to worry about that, and if Lydia wanted to return it, she should go ahead and do it. So, they split ways temporarily, Lydia off to return the cube, and Crulius off to the college. Oh, I'm sorry. He's not going to the college. He's actually going right to the throat of the world. My bad. Anyway, after a few days go by, Lydia and Crulius meet up once again in the town of Iverstead and begin the long climb up the quote-unquote 7,000 steps once more. This time, while making their way up the steps, the party had a pretty easy go at it. No creatures, no nothing, until near the top, near High Hrothgar, suddenly a dragon swooped in to attack the party. Crulius thought to himself that the thing must have been able to sense that they were getting close to destroying his master, Alduin. It was a hard battle. Crulius actually did not hide behind Lydia for once, but stood strong as the Dragonborn, shouting word for word with the dragon and hurling fireballs. In the end, the thing finally crashed to the earth and, rapidly decomposed, letting Crulius absorb his soul. Crulius felt very proud of himself, and then the two of them continued their journey to High Hrothgar. The party finally reached High Hrothgar without any further incident. Once there, Crulius and Lydia decided to rest for a few hours before continuing to the top of the throat of the world. Alright, everybody, this concludes episode 4 of Crulius's journey to save the world. I hope you all enjoyed listening. I just hope you had a good time, and thank you so much for listening to ASAPodcasting. And thanks for all the hard work you guys do. You're all awesome. And I hope everybody has a good day. And I'll see you next time. Happy gaming.